Allison Munoz, and for my capstone, I chose to do a new construction for Bogey Productions and New Media based in Portland, Oregon, and just an overall gist of my project, a sustainable approach to an inclusive environment for a creative and diverse workplace. So if you guys could just close your eyes for a minute, I just want you to kind of imagine a workplace where you can be inspired, intrigued, energized, motivated to increase the quality and innovation behind your designs. Imagine a place where you can work from various locations, different types of workplaces, community, individual, creative studios, courtyards, or just imagine a place where you feel valued, you feel like your employer understands your need as a professional creative, and just an overall environment to foster successful design. And just kind of keep these things in mind as we go through this presentation. So for my research, my 3 topics were occupational health, sustainability, and filmmaking and production. Under occupational health, I did a lot of research in color theory, user spatial needs, diverse environments, and kind of a Google-style campus for creatives. I really wanted there to be almost an interactive element to the design. Under sustainability, I really focused on local regulations in Portland, how they really involve the community, they engage with the local culture, and then also the materials used. Are they ecological? Are they sustainable? Are they recycled? Are they going to be overall green under the green design? Filmmaking and production, there was a lot of high-volume spatial needs for camera equipment, types of storage, crew members, the kinds of people that are going to be coming in and out of this space, on top of acoustical properties and energy efficiency within filmmaking and production. For my concept, I really wanted the space to overall feel transcendent, stimulating, and visionary. I wanted there to be a high correlation between the space and positive occupational health to increase productivity and successfulness in all of the users in the space, really creating a learning and successful environment for everyone. Through this, we're going to have expressive areas for individuals, inclusive of local communities, specified building materials, the multi-use campus for creativity, and then the complexity through color variety, form, linear aspects, lighting, and innovative design. For my final floor plan, this is the first level. It's a very large space comparatively, but I kind of highlighted key areas where there would be occupational health, production, and sustainability involved in the design. So as you can see, this is kind of one of the entrances right here. All of the bathrooms are going to have gray water systems and really sustainable lighting as well. So that is why those ones are going to have those little green blurbs right there. And then for occupational health, what I really struggled with was trying to create those spaces for people in the workplace to interact with each other, the space, their projects, to maybe take a lap around the building and feel like they were rejuvenated mentally from like their screens or whatnot. Especially with new media design, it's a lot of tech and screen time, so I really wanted there to be a lot of different elements. So architecturally, I created these little nooks for seating and just kind of creating a little quiet space for yourself. They're scattered around the design here and here, as well as the second floor. And for all of these walls and these little island walls here too, they're going to be visual display elements and interactive things for users and workers to kind of just engage in. On top of that, we're going to have production areas. On the first floor, we're going to have the studio arts room and the creative arts lab. So this is going to kind of be like the computer room of the design, and then this is going to be the fine arts, and then we also have a printing station here for all the different printing, posters. I'm just imagining users will need it for a variety of different things. On the second level, This is going to be primarily all production up here. We're going to have the green room, the After Effects studio, production room, prop storage, equipment rentals, recording room, and then the sound studio. All of these rooms, I really tried to get in the mindset of the user, of someone who would maybe come to this company trying to elevate their project to the next level, what they would need, whether they need to record sound for overlap, they need a green room to edit something out, if they need props, if they don't have enough, or are really looking for something specific. And then equipment storage, that's also going to be like regulated with air vents and AC and a lot of different things for camera equipment that in my research came up. For occupational health upstairs, we're still going to have some of these little inlets here as well as these walls and the common courtyard. I also incorporated resting rooms in case people needed to just take a minute to kind of calm down and quiet down from their, or quiet their eyes, right? Close their eyes from the screens and all this interaction taking place. On top of that, we have the open community workspace I included. This also kind of came up in my research of filmmaking and production, because there will be a lot of diverse people coming in and out that might not feel like they have a space to sit down and work on their project. Where here they can, a couple of them can pull up a chair, sit down, whatnot, kind of just feel like they have their own little individual yet community space as well. And lastly, for the occupational health upstairs, we have the staircase. These are actually going to be hexagon little steps. It took me a little while to work out all the logistics of that, but it really creates a unique experience for people going up and down versus just a plain set of stairs. It really creates a transitional space. For the final ceiling plan, this is the first level. I'm just going to come do a quick overview. We have a lot of like linear and geometric forms here. I really wanted that to be conveyed even in the ceiling plan. There are a lot of acoustical elements such as hexagon tiles, these drop-down suspended grids, and these like wave forms that also are backlit. Really helps between just all of the different areas, being able to not have sound overlap or any acoustical overlap between the different spaces. For the second level of the final ceiling plan, we're going to have a lot more of the acoustical elements implemented in these first spaces and primarily the recording studio. I really wanted to architecturally accommodate for any acoustical overlap, so that's why you can see the second level has a lot of these little inlet spaces between different recording rooms, just so there wouldn't be any overlap. On top of it, we also do have these skylights, and this is going to be a custom light fixture hanging floor to ceiling in between the stairs. For the creative arts lab, these are the elevations I have. We are going to have individual desks right here with dividers to provide privacy, as well as a community table for people to work on, bring their laptops, things like that. This is going to be an interactive wall where users can feel free to write down, jot things down, and either convert it to a PDF or to their laptop somehow. Really wanted to get very tech savvy with this room. On top of it, we have another additional space right here. These are going to be colored acrylic panels right here, just so it does have a little bit of that privacy, but with still feeling very open and airy. Same down here, these are all going to be different colored glass panels right here. Just viewing into the printing lab from the creative arts lab. Here are some finishes for the chairs and tables, and then here's a sample of some different acrylic colors I was thinking of. Some carpeting, some really beautiful geometric lighting, all made with reclaimed wood, very sustainable. Same with these acoustical tiles. These are all going to be made out of completely recycled materials. Here are some more finishes as well. This is kind of like a mix between this table and this table for the elevation right here. It's going to be layered acrylic glass in very geometric forms. So they aren't going to be the regular square cut tables where you feel like you have to go around the corner or anything. I wanted it to be very inclusive of everybody. Here's an example of what I would envision the colored panels to look like. And here I just wanted to show you that I accommodated 4 different types of seating: high seating, low seating, community, and individual. In the fine art studio, I really wanted this space to just be very creative, expressive, and happy overall. There's going to be ample storage so people can come in here and feel like they really have all the necessities and tools to create something completely new, whether it's with paints or at the pottery station or the art easel station. Like, I really want them to understand they have a creative voice here, especially with professional creatives. Sometimes I feel like we can get a little drowned out in the workplace, so having this spot to refresh the creative juices is really essential. The tables and chairs would be similar to these in this picture. Same with the lighting from the last elevations as well. This is going to be the drop-down ceiling, like suspended ceiling grid. And here's an example of these windows right here. For some of the finishes, we're going to have art storage, nesting tables, and then this is all going to be completely reclaimed wood paneling for the cabinetry. This is just kind of like an inspiration image for what I would envision the pottery stations. We have 2 in the room, so it would look something like this. And then all throughout the floors, we're going to have recycled concrete, and that can also be stained and colored to provide wayfinding throughout the whole floor plan, actually, as well as bringing back in the acrylic element with the acrylic art easel. For the occupational health area elevations, these are going to be scattered throughout the floor plan. So down here, up here, this first one is going to be by the rear entrance of the facility, and this is going to be one of those diagonal wall island thingies that will have an interactive screen with different colored squares to kind of prompt different things. I was thinking a lot of people who work here will have a lot of digital art they might want to kind of create to implement and just have really the community see what they're doing even in these common spaces. Here's an example of the nesting tables, and then this is also going to be the acrylic clear paneling viewing into the printing center. Down here we have an elevation of the community workspace. So again, accommodating for different types of workspace, whether lower tabletop or high top counter. This is going to be a visual screen, probably LED flashing through maybe local events, things like that, really community involvement up here, especially in the community work area. This is going to be a nice green wall garden, and then this is going to be another interactive screen for people to write and work out different issues, problems, and designs on. Over here, we're going to have our last elevation of one of the interactive walls. It's going to be similar to a light bright system, where there's these little pegs that will light up when you put them in one of these specified holes. And just really interactive, just to really take a break from the work grind, to feel like you can come and experiencing something completely out of this world, almost just in the same building. Here are some samples of what I was discussing. So here are some color blocks that might be used in the interactive LED screens. This is the light bright similar system all over the wall, the greenery surrounding the community workstations right here. And these are going to be similar to the screens we have up above the community station as well. Here is another sample of the workspace. The stairs also are going to help provide wayfinding through different colors leaking into different rooms. And these are the acoustical waves I was telling you guys about. For the sound studio and After Effects studio. Up here we're going to have the After Effects studio. This wall is going to be completely magnetic with similar to this inspiration image right here, with different shapes that people can really maneuver around and just feel, oh, my surroundings are a little bland or this or that. They can change it and feel like they are in charge of where they work. There's going to be a high top built-in counter station here, and then a individual workstation right here, separated out too. So again, both community and individual work spots. Down here, we're going to have the sound studio. This is going to be the sound studio production desk on looking into the actual artist room. 2 different sliding doors just to provide that open, transparent feel, and a variety of acoustical panels, also all recycled, to really aid in that acoustical privacy of that room. On top of the skylight located on the upstairs level. Overall, Bogey Productions really wanted to focus primarily on occupational health in their new facility. They wanted to have individual and community workspaces, acoustically sound design, spatial needs for all of their production, whether that's on the computer, in a production room, prop storage, things like that. They really also wanted to hit sustainability with Portland's local regulations on community involvement through a community viewing gallery and community spaces. I would also envision a company like this providing workshops for locals to help improve their skills on different areas, as well as sustainable lighting plans, daylighting, gray water systems, and green and recycled building materials. And then also just stimulating interactive elements such as the stairs, the color, the various types of meeting spaces, and interactive displays. Thank you, guys.
I really like your idea of the acrylic glass and like all the different colors. I can really see how colorful it would be if you were to be in that space. I like that.
Thank you.
I really liked your like little kind of like the pods, like the little seating areas. I thought that was really clever.
Thanks, yeah.
And then on your floor plan for like the production studio, would you are they kind of like the garage doors or like that type of
so
door?
this is just a double swing door for people to walk through, and then I also put a garage door over here, same in the prop storage in case they need to move larger props.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that's what it was, and I thought that was really clever.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I wanted
like moving like props and stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to accommodate that.
And stuff, so I thought that was a really good idea.
Thanks.
I think your space is really unique, and it's a really, now idea. Like it's a modern thing that could actually be a production one day. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Allie, can you go back to the level 1 floor plan? That made a huge shift since we saw your presentation at midterm.
Mm-hmm.
You developed the spaces a little differently. I like the front stairs with your little reading alcoves.
Mm-hmm.
Is that courtyard an exterior space?
So I was envisioning kind of just like a double level courtyard, and then probably just glass on the top of the ceiling of that courtyard on the second floor.
Okay.
So this would probably be all glass, where these people on the top of this gazebo type structure would have more like the sunlight and stuff, and then the light would just shine through onto the second floor through these sides.
Okay, so going back to level 1 again, well thought out with your furnishings and spaces in this floor. I would love to be in a workplace, I'm not talking about any of you, but other workplaces
Please don't.
that have interactive break room places.
Yeah. And there's also like employee locker rooms, resting rooms, things like that. I really wanted them to feel like this could be their second home for like sometimes creatives. So literally spend all day and night working on a project.
So true.
And I really wanted to provide a space that they can, they're working here for a couple hours and they need to go upstairs, work in the community area maybe for a bit, go outside for a bit. So I wanted to provide all the different kinds of areas for them to work.
Well, I think Lauren's comment, it's new. It has to do with today's culture, new workers and new environments, which stretches my imagination, so it's neat to see.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
I actually have a question. So for like your stairs, you said can you like re-explain that to me?
Yeah, so for these stairs, I was really trying to create like a focal element
Okay.
in the building to kind of create these spaces for people to interact and really provide a transitional space versus just a regular set of stairs. So I really had a hard time thinking outside the box, and each step is actually probably about a 1 foot by 1 foot like hexagon, and then they kind of go like up, down, like 4 across,
I'm trying to
like
picture
5
it.
across.
So thank you.
So like each one of these little ones is a
Yeah.
hexagon, and then it's like
Okay.
It's more like a play structure in
exactly.
a sense.
It's meant to
Yeah.
be very playful and engaging versus just a space to go
Exit and entrance.
I love your floor plans because I also really like, because you identified we're going to cover occupational health, production, and sustainability, and the fact that you did a little bubble on this overlay on the plan. That's a great way without having to say a whole lot about it. It's like I can see where the productivity is going to occur, because it also gives me a better sense of how you're seeing how this place is going to be used, private versus public space. But I will say, if you're going to put something there, sustainability, you need to talk about it. So
Okay.
there wasn't, and the creative part, which is the vibe of this, is going to be covered in the on the production side.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear a whole lot about what's going on in the sustainability.
Yeah.
And I will say, my own personal preference, I like when you've got a lot of going on in a plan. I prefer to see it in 2D, not 3D. And that's just my personal
Yeah.
taste. This is so much cleaner and makes
I
so much
agree.
more sense. When you pull up walls, we're doing SketchUp or Revit, and you see 3D, the shadows get thrown on it, and it gets to be hard to read sometimes. This is crystal clear to me.
Mhm.
And it may just because that's the world I live in more in that 2D. That said, when it comes time for the elevations, I was a little disappointed, frankly, that it stayed in the black and white
Yeah.
format, because I'm anticipating color and life, and so I
Definitely. I think
admittedly a little disappointed that there
if
wasn't
we could
even
make some
a
adjustments, I definitely would want to completely render this floor plan and redo and render some of the elevations.
and I think it would,
I
even
think
if
the
it was
color
just
theory a lot would pop with that too, especially
Totally.
for all the different plans they had with different rooms. But
Yeah. Because this totally whet my appetite. I was like, yeah, this is so
You're like,
cool,
let's
because it did come a long way, and I was really
I
stoked.
agree.
And then relative, because there's the tables, I want to see what that table looks like,
yeah.
and to whatever degree you're capable of being able to, you brought out, industrial photos to say this is what I'm talking about. And then another little thing when you went into the elevation pages, 2 things. One, it'd be great to have a human in there so we have a sense of scale. We can with the furniture that's there. We say, wow, there's a lot of volume here, but always plug in a human in there so that we have a sense of how big, how tall the space is, and then being able to connect it back. So a transition. So when you're going into, what was the first one that you did? The
Creative arts lab.
the Creative Arts Lab. So showing the Creative Arts Lab, and then where is that on the plan?
Yeah.
Right, so that we
Having
can
a
see
little
on,
side
we can see on the
plan
plan,
with
just say, okay, the first one I'm gonna show you some elevations. So again, it would be like you've seen them do a bubble or even just an arrow before we go, because now I know where this is in the building.
Okay.
It puts the floor plan a little bit into context with the elevation, because I'm trying to remember as you're explaining it.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what was that?
Where was that again? Where is that live?
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry for having to leave so quickly. I wanted to see your presentation, but the part that I did see, I really liked how the unique shape of your building and like all of like the furniture and tables and just the rooms were all their own space.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that.
I know a lot of artists, I think, that would love to be part of this, because not only do they just do art, but they do film production and they do all kinds of stuff, and
Exactly.
I've
They
seen
like to
where they
dabble in
are,
all the
and
different.
it's terrible what they
I
have
kind of
to.
wanted to
Yeah.
create a company that I would like love to work for or be a part of or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially like wanting to do a little bit more with like the film and production side of things. So it was definitely a really interesting project for me.
I switched fields because I like the tables better in the other room. I
Right,
say, I want to go
move
play over
around.
there. What do they do?
The flow of this floor plan, it's just open and
Yeah.
you can move around and it looks inviting.
And it's easy to know which direction you're headed.
Yeah, the plan's really strong.
Yep. So
You guys
yeah,
really
you really
put
developed
a lot
that
of time
well.
into the architectural shell of this.
Yeah. I just wish, kind of like with Tom, that
Mhm.
the other parts to it could have shown the amount of research and work that you put into this, to do you justice for everything that you have done up to this point. Understand time is of the essence, and that's kind of what happens for all of us when we end projects. But
Yeah.
I mean, your ideas are there, the research is there, the materials are definitely there. We see the materials, and we could see how you were going to execute some of those things. So that's definitely very appreciative on that. And I did like how you kind of broke your floor plan into the 3 key areas so that we could see where the real
I like
emphasis was on that. So good job overall for that.
Yeah.
Good job.
that. All right.